Hiya, we're going to look at the Beatles version of Twist and Shouts. This arrangement is from the Trinity Rock Pop Grade 2 syllabus. We'll jump straight in. We start on the A string. And we play 0, 2, 4. And then we play an open D string. Now, that's a little pickup, those three notes, and we start on the and of beat 3 really in the bar before, so it's like 1, 2, 3. The open D note is where beat 1 falls, so we're kind of going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Beat 1, yeah? Okay. Spend a bit of time getting that under your fingers. 0 on the A, 2 on the A, 4 on the A, open D. Now I'm using the first finger for the 2nd fret and the 3rd finger for the 4th fret. And then we play a D major. And we play it staccato. Now in the arrangement in the chart that Trinity have put together, there's a dot under the treble clef notation notes, that stave, telling us that that's staccato. You can kind of get that from the feel. So the notes end abruptly. You can get that muted with your right hand, and just by dampening with your left hand, lifting the fingers off. Yep, and then we go to a G, and we do 2 down strums. And then there's a quaver rest, and we change to an A major, and we strum that. So that, if I piece that together, those chords quickly. D, typical ways, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the high E, and the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B. Makes a little triangle, and you're playing the top 4 strings, D, G, B, and E. So, and then for the G, I'm going to use the one, I like to use the one with 4 fingers, but Trinity have shown it with the 3-finger version. So 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A, an open D, open G, and open B, and the 3rd fret of the high E. So that's your G. And then for the A, it's 2nd fret D, 2nd fret G, 2nd fret B. I use 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fingers. Some people switch it around, so it's 2nd, 1st, and 3rd. I've seen people do 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, leaving the 1st finger out of the equation. If you can bar 1st finger across 3 strings and still get that open high E, go for that option too, yeah? Most people probably favour 1st, 2nd, 3rd fingers, yeah? That riff, once you hit the A, that's actually tied over the bar line, so you're hitting it on the and of beat 4, and then, once it's resonating on beat 1, you play again on the and of beat 1 in the next bar. You hit it 4 times. But you're just hitting like an A5 power chord, so I'd keep the A major shape down, but you're just going to hit the A and D. So you get... And then you're back in with the 0, 2, 4. On the A string, 0 on the D. That's your riff. Let's play it all together. The intro of this song sees us playing that riff twice, so we get 1, 2, 3. And then the vocals in, and we're at the start of the verse. Now there's some information on the chart in terms of dynamics. There's an MF underneath the treble clef stave at the very start of the song. F means forte, which is loud. M means mezzo, so we're kind of quite loud, medium loud basically at the start of the song. So when I'm thrashing it out, it's... You want that energy there, yeah, but you don't want to blow people's heads off at this stage. Right, the start of the verse, it's the same riff. And we've got these first and second time endings. So you're going to play the riff 4 times, hit the repeat mark, and above the last 2 bars, you've got that repeat, the last 2 bars thing, that funny little symbol we just spoke about. You hit the repeat mark, go back to the start of the verse, play it another 1, 2, 3 times, and on that 4th time, through the second time through the verse, you just play exactly the same, but you stay on the A5, just the A and D part of the A chord, chugging away on that, yeah? So you don't go back and launch back into it by doing that. If you've got the book or the chart, you will know exactly what I mean. So you've got your first time ending and your second time ending. Now, I would be listening out for cues on the track to know when to go to the guitar break. The vocalist on the recording we've been using does like a kind of Lennon type woo scream that takes you to your kind of guitar break. But if you really want to think about it, how many times through, it's 2 for the intro, then it's an 8 times of that riff on the bar bass, it's 8 of those riffs for the verse, yeah? Just remember the last time you stay on. I'm gonna bring the chart into view actually, and I hope that my camera skills mean that this gets picked up, okay? So, twice for the intro, then the verse, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, hit the repeat mark, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and then at the end you're doing it again, second time ending, so that's 8 times for the verse. Just remember, the end of the verse, you stay on the A5, you don't go back and do the 0, 2, 4, 0 thing, because you're not going back into that, you're going to go to the top of the next page and play the instrumental, yeah, and pick up this guitar break. So, let's take it from there. So, in fact, before we take it from the guitar break, let's just talk about kind of the consistency we're striving for with that. You might want to practice just transitioning between D, G and A. Yeah? You might want to kind of be able to do really consistently. Break it down, slow it down. Make sure everything's resonating the way it should be. Make sure you can do that and get into a D. Yeah? Whenever I've played this tune in kind of function bands, I've used that approach. It's the same notes, just played down there. You might want to be able to do that 10 times flawlessly before you move on and think about them. That's the approach some people take. The main thing is you can cleanly play D, G, G, A. The staccato notes and the quaver rest between the G and A are really important as well, so that there's silence in there between the G and A. Oh, a sus4 in there, a sus4, sorry. That gap's really important. Those are the details that really make that riff what it is and shine in the way it needs. Okay, we've been through that riff 10 times, remembering at the end we're staying on that kind of fragment of the A chord to play an A5 and build, and we're into the guitar break, where we get that thing going on. So, it's super easy, it's the open D. It's the open D again, then an open G, then an open B. So we get, and then it's the second frets of the G. Now I'm picking that up with the first finger, the index finger. That was. Then we play the second fret of the D. I'm going to use the first finger for that as well. Then an open G, and then the 4th fret of the D. Yep, so the whole phrase, it's a 2-bar phrase. Okay, Now we've got that symbol again, that kind of funny percent type sign spanning 2 bars with a 2 on top. So it's telling us to play what was in the last 2 bars. So we do it again. And the whole thing's in repeats. So we do that riff 4 times. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 and... on and on it goes. So we get it 4 times. Now again, there's a couple of details that are really important. The first D is staccato again, so it ends abruptly. And then there's a quaver rest. So it's 1, 2, and that second 0 on the D comes in on the end of beat 2. There's a crotchet rest and a half beat rest at the start of the second bar of the phrase. Now if you've got the chart, which I'm sure you have, pay attention to the treble clef above, and hopefully you've got a little bit of knowledge of kind of note values and rests, because there's quaver rests, crotchet rests going on in this phrase, yeah? Okay, once more that phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4 and... Once again, that phrase, just once through. 1, 2, 3, 4 and... Okay, 4 times in total. Then we're into the vocal build. Now this is a 6-bar phrase, and the dynamic starts off mezzo piano, piano meaning quiet, pianissimo, so we're quite quiet, moderately quiet, and it crescendos in the first 4 bars until we kind of get to forte, which is loud. So we start off with just the 2nd fret of the G string. The rhythm's super easy, it's just quavers the whole way through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... In bar 2 we add on the 2nd fret of the B string, so we're mirroring the vocal harmony that's going on with the guys. So it's 2, just on the G, 2 on the G and the B. Then we add in the open E string, so we get... And the last thing we add is the 3rd fret of the high E string, so we end up with this A7 voicing basically. So it's 2 on the G, with 2 on the B, now open E on top, 3 on the E on top. Yeah, okay. Then we've played 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bars, and then they stay on the R's and we play that for another 2 bars, that shape. Okay, so it's for 1 bar, for another bar, for another bar, that one for 3 bars, yeah? But we want to have reached our kind of peak forte or loudness by the end of the 4th bar. And we get 2 more bars. And then we hit what we call a DS alcoda, and I take the opportunity to have a sip of coffee. At the DS alcoda instruction, it says underneath with repeat. If we haven't seen that before, it's sending us back to what we call the sign. And you might not have twigged it before, but just by where it says verse in the box text on the 2nd line of the 1st page, there's a funny looking S, bold, with a kind of a percent sign over it. That is the sign, or das segno, yeah? From there, we play the verse again, and because it told us with repeat, we do the first and the second time ending. So from the we're back into the we play in it from the verse, so we got the first, second time ending, essentially 8 times through. Remember, on the last time we're going to hit that A5 fragment 7 times. Yeah, that takes us now to an instruction underneath the end of the second time ending that says 2 coda, and 2 coda is followed by the coda symbol, which is kind of a bit of a kind of elongated circle, if there's such a thing, with like crosshairs over it. Essentially a circle with a plus sign or a cross over it. You will see the bottom line of the second page. There is a same symbol again, that circle with the cross over it, and it says coda next to it. Yeah, so you skip the guitar break or instrumental and the big vocal build, and you pick it up at the bottom line of that second page. Yeah, now we have a kind of shortened version of the vocal build. And we end with that thing. So it's a shortened version of the vocal build, again mezzo piano, just 2 on the G, with the 2 on the B added in, with the open E added in, and then 1 hit on that A7 fragment where you get 2, 2, 3, 2 on the G, 2 on the B, 3 on the high E, and then we get this, that little run up. It's walking up from the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the A, O on the D, and then a D9 kind of voicing, which is open D, 2 on the G with the second finger, first fret of the B with the first finger, open E, and we rest on that. So you get that. So we get that. To end with that D9, it's easy to think about if you already know a D7 using that shape. First finger, first fret of the B, second finger, second fret of the G, third finger on the second fret of the B, of the high E, sorry, and you're just lifting off that third finger. So it's, we've just ascended up. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we get the open D to get the D natural. Kind of an iconic rock and roll ending. Happens in lots of tunes of this nature, this style. That's the arrangement. Enjoy. Think about the kind of different elements, the kind of chordy bit with the D, G and A. Think about that kind of getting that smoothed out. That's 4 times in total. Get your head around the DSL coda and the 2 coda instruction. Think about the dynamics and the crescendos and when you should be playing quite loud and quite quiet and when you should be loud. Think about the repeats, the first and second time ending, and just play it with the vibe, man. Get really, really comfortable with those changes and the different sections. You've essentially got that riff going on 10 times, then the break, then the vocal build, then back to the verse to do the main riff 8 times, and then 2 coda to do a kind of miniature vocal build, and finishing with that kind of ending, yeah? Have fun!